Well, could we talk a little bit about your studies
Yeah.
now? Who did you meet while you were going through university in terms of vocal coaches, and who left an impression on you?
Yeah, well, my first singing teacher was also the conductor of the boys' choir, eventually, after Walter Ball. His name was Kevin Langford. And he was also my piano teacher. And one day we were at camp. We were having our weekly, our before everything starts in August. And he was a little late. And my friends sort of started, oh, get up there, and do the rehearsal, do the rehearsal. So I conducted the rehearsal, just a piece. And I didn't know that Kevin had actually come up the stairs and was just there watching. So afterwards, he took me aside and he said, well, we're going to add conducting to your lessons now. And he said, and you're going to conduct that at the end of the concert, at the end of the week for the parents. So I wound up going to Mount Allison, which is about 2 hours away. And that's where Kevin went. And a lot of people in our area went there. And it was a great place. It was sort of that, you think of a university town. It was a university town. One of those places where when university's in session, and there's only about 2,000 at the university, but the population of the town doubles when university's in, those kinds of places. And it was great, and I loved being there, and I loved working there. But I I represented my province in the National Youth Choir of Canada.
Oh, fantastic!
And it was there that I got to mix with people from all over the country. And there were a group of guys from the University of Toronto, and they said, "Oh, you should apply." And I thought, "Oh, University of Toronto's, I think it's the largest music school in Canada, and I think it's the fifth largest in North America." So for a guy from a very small city, it was very daunting. But they were talking about things like they were talking about artists that we would know, like Cecilia Bartoli and Bryn Terfel, who at the time I'd never heard of, and like it was just like their bread and butter. And I thought, oh, I think I need to be doing that. I think I need to know who the people are in my profession.
Well, what sort of music was surrounding your life at that stage then?
Oh,
What recordings were you listening to?
Classical music all the way. I think I stopped listening to pop music. It's the 90s, so there's nothing good came after the 90s. I think my first, actually, it was Helmut Walche playing Bach, toccata and fugues, including the D minor fugue, and Mozart. And then I also had the good fortune as a summer student to work in the local library. So the first year I was in the bookbinding department, repairing books, which is interesting. But our audiovisual librarian said, "Oh, you're into music. Next year, come and work in my department." So the following year, I had about 3 days with her, and she went on maternity leave. So I had this entire department to myself. And one of the benefits was that, a library is supposed to be quiet, but in the music department, we could actually play recordings. And so I just went through
Like a kid in the
like a
candy
kid in a
store.
candy store, and I just played things. I listened to things. Oh, this looks interesting. That looks interesting. And I carried that through to university. I used to, because my musical upbringing was probably not as sophisticated as some others, so I'd pick a random score off the shelf and then try to find a recording of it and then sit down and listen and so that's how I kind of came to learn about a whole bunch of things.
Mostly choral music, though, or
No, actually, I tried to, I wanted to listen to all the Beethoven symphonies and all the Brahms symphonies, and I wanted to listen to all the big works and things like that.
But so just returning to your studies,
Yeah.
Did you primarily focus on, was it primarily focused on choral singing, or was it singing operatically? Or
No, for me, my studies, my main focus and my main love was singing lieder and art song. But as a singer, you don't make much money singing lieder and art song. Opera's where the money is.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and my great passion was oratorio. So combining choir with solo type. It's oratorio is like opera without costumes. And so that was something. At the same time, to earn some extra money, I was singing in a big church. And getting paid for that, and I was also a member of a community choir as well. I was one of the section leaders for them, and just, exposed to a whole bunch of things that way. So we did have choir at university. I sang with Doreen Rao, who a lot of people know from her work with children's choirs.
Mm.
And that was great. One of the, not the first time, but one of the first times singing with orchestra. So that was yeah, just a big treat to be able to do that. And it was always a love of mine, but never really thought, oh well, that's a career path.